Hi, I'm Ben, service technician here at Lichtsinn Motors. I'll be doing your rental orientation on the Minnie Winnie 31H. Alright, to start with, first of all we got our awning. Awning controls on the inside right here are right around the corner. You simply have in and out. We're actually going to hold the out button until the flap drops. So we're going to go out. And once the flap drops, then let go of the button. If you keep rolling it out, it's actually going to roll back up and go the reverse way, so just let go of the button then. If it does get too windy out, you do want to make sure you bring this in, because too much wind will rip this off the coach. Same way with, on the way in, hold it until the motor shuts off. Alright, and then we also have one light switch right inside the door for your outside porch light. Coming over here to the side, you do have a 110 outlet on the outside, which is protected with the GFI plug-in that's inside. So if you don't have power out here, check the GFI plug-in inside. You do have a coax hookup here. If you ever do want to put a TV outside, just hook it up and that's tied into your antenna. Coming around back here, you do have a full extension ladder on the back of the coach, 225-pound maximum weight on that. Roof is fully walkable on. Still, be careful if you're up there. It is really slippery when it gets wet. For towing, you got 350 pounds tongue weight, and then 3,500 pounds of towing.
But no towing with the rentals.
No towing with rentals. Okay. All right, take the cap off the end of the bumper, and our sewer hose sits right inside the cap of the bumper. And then just hammers back on there. Back compartment here comes up. Actually has the little holder here that's going to hold your doors open. Make sure you do release those because they do rip off pretty easy. Really big storage, goes all the way underneath, up top there. All right, coming over here we have two water hookups. One is for your tank fill. It's going to fill your fresh water tank. The other one is for city fill. That's what we use if we have a pressurized source where we're camping. Just use the pressure off the hose. If we do not have a pressurized source, then we'll have to use the pump that's inside the coach. We have the dump station right below that. So we're gonna get that sewer hose out of the bumper. Take this cap off here. Then just attach your sewer hose there, put it into the dump station. Then they're labeled right here. You have gray and black. We'll always dump the black first. Let it all run out till you don't hear any more water or any more waste coming out. And then we dump our gray. And then after you're done, just make sure you replace the cap on there, otherwise it will rip off as you're going down the road. Fuel tank there, unleaded fuel only. Can be super unleaded, don't use any E85. On the outside here we do have the hot water heater, have the furnace. Both of those do put out hot exhaust, so don't ever lean anything up against there. It'll melt whatever you put there. So then right down underneath here, one that's labeled here is actually going to be where your power cord is. 30 amp power cord. We do supply a 30 to 20 adapter. And then at the bottom of the compartment here, there is a little port that you can unscrew and run your cord through there. So we can still close and lock this compartment. There is a plug-in in the back of this compartment. That plug-in, the generator feeds that plug-in. We have to plug this cord into that outlet for the generator to feed the coach with any power. So if you're going to use the generator, make sure you plug the cord in. All right. Opening the front door. Hood release is actually right around the corner. Right up front there. If we ever need to release the hood for any reason. under the hood, main thing, windshield washer fluids on the left, oil, transmission fluid, then your oil dipsticks down on the right side there, coolant, brake fluid, and power steering. All right, let's go ahead and head inside. Okay, the other thing we have right below that awning switch is a battery disconnect switch. So that will kill all power to the coach. So if that's in off position, you won't have any lights, nothing working.
And you need that on then for the generator to run?
You need that on, yep, for anything to run back in the coach. It always has to be on for a generator to start or anything to run. All right, coming inside, we do have full storage up above. Your manuals are up in this first compartment up here. So any questions, operating, any of that stuff, it will be in that manual. That is right up here, operation manual. You do have pleated shades. It's a matter of pulling it down. Either use two hands or one hand in the middle, because they will kick at an angle and break strings otherwise. Light above, just switch right on the light. Just toggle switch for on and off. Down below, you do have jackknife bed here, which there's a release right underneath in the middle here. Pull the release and then just jackknifes down. And then the same thing when we reverse, just go back up, push down, and it locks in place. Windows are slider windows, just undo the latch, slide open, the screen will also slide with it too. Close, just back up to close and lock. Coming over here, you got your microwave up high, pretty standard microwave. Presets, time cook, time defrost, wait defrost, power levels, clock, kitchen timers. Otherwise, matter of just pushing 1, 2, 3 for 30 seconds at a time. Black button down at the bottom to open it. You have to be plugged in for your microwave to work, or generator running. Exhaust fan here, and then we also have a light on the exhaust fan. Stovetop. Stovetop's really easy to use. All we're going to do is turn it to light, line it up with that little bar up top, and then use the sparker. And spark it until it lights. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times, identical with the other ones. And then you can adjust your flame from there, down to a simmer, or all the way up to high flame. And then for the stove, that's the right control over here. We have to turn that to pilot on, and after we turn it to pilot on, you have to make sure you come down here with a lighter, and way in the back of the stove we have to light the pilot light. And as long as you have that on pilot on, that pilot light will stay on. The second you turn it off, that pilot light goes off. And then after you get that pilot lit, you can set whatever temperature you want, just with the dial there. Storage underneath, furnace air return over by the stove. You have some more storage. In here is all the remotes for all the TVs. All 3 TVs are all the same. They're all insignias, so you can use any remote on any of the TVs. Then we have Pioneer remote. That's for your front entertainment up on the dash. Then this is for a DVD player. This is up front. Alright, more storage underneath the sink. Faucet up above, you do have strainer in the bottom, hot on left, cold on right, back and forth. Light above, again has the toggle right on it. Do have more storage up above the sink there. Alright, coming around the corner here, we have all of our controls. Top 2 controls here are for our slide outs. 2 things that need to be engaged for you to put your slide outs in and out. You have to have the parking brake on, and you also have to have the engine running. So you're simply going to hold it on the out position if we're going out until the motor shuts off. You'll hear it shut off. Same thing coming in. You'll hold it till the motor shuts off. And then they're labeled up on top. Passenger side rear, and then driver side front. Down below that is our holding tank heaters. If we get in freezing conditions, turn that on because it's just a 12-volt pad that's on bottom of our black and gray tanks. Help them keep thawed out. Down below that, we have our generator. This is where we start our generator from. What we're going to do is we're going to hold the stop button for about 5 to 7 seconds. That's priming the generator, bringing new fuel in. Then we're just going to hold the start until it starts. And then again, when you do start your generator, you have to make sure you are plugged in outside to that outlet. And then when we want to shut it down, just push stop one time and we'll shut down. And that does run off the top 3/4 of the fuel tank. So once you get down to 1/4 of a tank, it won't run anymore. Down below that, you have your water heater. This is propane for your water heater. The water heater is propane only. So all you gotta do is click it up. It's gonna say pilot out. If that light stays on, shut it off, wait 10 seconds, turn it back on. Try it a couple times. All right, right beside that is test levels. So if I hold the test levels button up, it's gonna show us our black water, gray water, fresh water, LP gas, and battery charge. Down below that's our thermostat. Couple settings on the thermostat is way to the left is cool. That will be your air conditioner. Right beside that's fan. Again, that's your air conditioner, but just the blower running, no cool coming out. You have off in that third position, and then we have your forced air heat, the last, and that's your gas heat. On the right side, you either have auto or on for the fan. And then you have high and low for auto, low and high for on. When we turn that to on, the blower in their AC is going to run all the time. When you leave it on auto, it will only come on whenever there's a call for air conditioning. And then it's simply a slide bar to set your temperature. Right beside the panels, you do have storage here behind the shower.
Ben, with the water pump, is that something that can just be left on all the time?
Yeah, water pump switch is up here. So turn the water pump on. Once the green light's on, it can be left on all the time. It's an on-demand water pump, and it only runs when there's a demand or call for water. So yes, all camping long, you can leave it on. All right, again, coming in here to the bathroom. All right, so in the bathroom here, shower-wise, on the shower head, you do have a button on turn dial on top that will stop all water flow. Hot on left, cold on right in the shower. Shower door does have a safety release way here at the back. It's a travel latch. You have to pull that open. Pull those open, one on the outside, one on the inside, to release the doors. Make sure we always push those all the way back and make sure both of them latch in there before you travel. Otherwise they'll be banging around and possibly could break. In here, again, hot on left, cold on right, you do have a little stopper in the bottom of the sink for plugging the sink off. You have a 110 outlet in here, towel bar up high, storage above the toilet up here. Down below for the toilet wise. Toilet's ran on a foot pedal. So foot pedal down on the right side underneath. So if I barely push that foot pedal down, it's going to fill your bowl up with water. And then when I fully depress that bowl, lever, it dumps it into the black tank. Toilet paper hanger is just right around the corner. Alright, right above me is the exhaust fan. It's a crank up exhaust fan. I'm just going to crank. So crank it up, and then it's push button on the side here to turn it on. Push button to shut it off. Make sure we close those when we are traveling. When it's raining, anything, make sure that comes down, because you will rip that cover off if you travel down the road with it open. Alright, coming back here to the bedroom. So around the bed we have full storage all the way around, up high to the sides. So full storage up there. Again, light above your bed is just a toggle switch on the light. You do have a 110 outlet on the front side of the bed there. And then more storage on this side also. Underneath the bed, Underneath there actually is your tank dump. So that little chrome valve right down there at the bottom there is your freshwater tank dump. So if we need to drop the water out of your tank or to get new water in, just twist that valve a quarter turn and it dumps down onto the ground.
But we do fill it with fresh water for you.
Yep,
we take off the rental.
We have a full tank of water when you take off. Closet over here. Full wardrobe over here. So a really big closet. Get a lot of stuff in there. And we do have some more storage underneath this closet also, down the bottom. Again, with these slides, make sure we don't store anything in front of them when we're bringing these slides in and out, because you will break whatever you put in front of them, or you'll break the room. So kind of be cautious of what we have sitting in front of the slides. Privacy curtain in between the bedroom just has a button on there that opens up, and then that comes across and then snaps to a little white knob on this side. Again, when you travel, make sure we latch that so it's not banging around. Over in the bunk areas, TV in the top, TV in the bottom, they do have releases, the little tethers that come down, pull them. TV can turn out for the bedroom or be used in the bunk. Again, make sure that gets latched back in place before you travel down the road, otherwise it will be banging around. You do have a curtain for the top one, which has these little hooks on it, which on the ceiling you have these little U-shape. That's where that curtain gets hooked to. And that's for the privacy on the top bunk. Light in the top bunk just has a tether on, or just has a switch on it to turn it on. Bottom bunk has the curtain built into it. Just slides across for privacy there. And then again, that has the same tether on it, identical to the top TV. And I'll explain it up there actually. Underneath the bed, you do have a little bit of storage underneath the bunks. Alright, coming up here, fridge-wise. Okay, so on the fridge, we have a couple settings on the front. So, if you put it in auto, what auto is going to do, it's going to switch from electric to gas automatically. So if we go unplug, it would switch over to gas. If this light is flashing, that means your pilot didn't light. Shut it off again, wait 10 seconds, turn it back on. And then if you're in electric, that light won't be on. Or you can come over and you can just select gas automatically, but then it won't switch over to electric for you. Over here is your temperature settings. 1 through 5. 1's your warmest, 5's your coldest. More than likely you're going to want to leave it at a 3. If we go up to 5, it will almost freeze food in the fridge. You have to base that upon where you are in climate wise.
And generally people can just leave it on auto.
Yep, leave it on auto. I would always leave it on auto. There's no reason really to switch over to gas. I'd let it do it on its own. Big fridge, all the shelves are removable, adjustable. Freezer also. Okay, down below the fridge, you do have one storage drawer here. And then down below that, we do have an LP detector here, which does have a test button on it. If that goes off, make sure you get out of the coach, leave your door open, go outside and shut the LP tank off. And then down below that is your GFI plug-in. That's the GFI that controls the outside plug-in, and actually it's going to control the plug-ins that are in your bathroom also, and in the kitchen also. So if you don't have power to any of those plugs, come and reset that plug-in. Fire extinguisher is always by the door, so easy access if we ever have a fire or anything. Coming up front, you do have full storage above the dinette here. There, storage up there. The light above your dinette just has a push button on it. Again, your pleated shades. To make this down into bed, easiest way to do this is to flip the 2 cushions up on the sides. So flip those up. So with those flipped up, now down underneath here on the leg, there's a little push button on the left side here. Push that button in, that leg is going to flip up, and then we're going to release it off the wall by lifting up and then straight out. And then that drops down and sits right down there. And then what we're going to do, put the main cushions back down, and then we'll use the 2 backrest cushions as the fillers in the middle. And those are just snapped on, they got little buttons. Put those in the middle, just like that. And then we're gonna just reverse that to put this back into the dinette. So take the cushion, flip the two side cushions up. We do also have one seat belt on each side here. And you do have storage underneath here. Oh, I'm sorry, this side has two, that one has one. So two seat belts on the back, one seat belt on the front. And then what we're gonna do to reverse it is we're gonna lift up, go at an angle to lock it back to the wall, release that table leg again, and make sure it gets in the clip on the floor. And that's what locks it into place. Then we can just put our cushions down. Put the cushion back in place. Really easy to do. Alright, up here to the bunk area, all we have to do is slide this top cushion down. So we're going to slide the cushion down into place. Over here we have our ladder, which is usually sitting up there. To get the ladder on, you have to come straight out at an angle, put it on, and then go straight down. That's what actually locks this onto the bunk so it can't fall if anyone's climbing up there. You do have a TV up there also that does have another tether on it that does release it. That brings that TV out here so you can use it out here. This here is a privacy shade. It's made to go right across here. There's a couple buttons here, and then the same thing on this side. A button here and here. It just snaps on, so that gives us our privacy at night from the front. You do have another just crank up vent up there. It's not a powered fan, just cranks up, cranks down if you want to get air in. And make sure you close that again if you're traveling or raining. Also on the ceiling we have our antenna. So for our antenna, up on there it says up or down. So if we want to crank this up, you're just going to crank it until it won't go anymore. Don't force it because you will break the handle off if you go too hard. So once it gets up high enough, right there it's tight. Then if we need to get a better signal, we can pull down on this round piece and then rotate the antenna. When we bring the antenna back down, we want to line this arrow up with this arrow. That's what makes it come down on the roof in the right direction. And then just repeat it, come down until it won't crank anymore. Okay, the thing with your antenna, if you're going to use your antenna, you have to make sure right around the corner up there by the TV, there's a booster switch. You have to make sure that booster switch is on. So there's a little button right here. So if that light's not on, you're not going to get any local stations. So just push that button, make sure it's on. And then we have to do a channel search on the TVs. And that's just a matter of going into the menu, turn the power on, going into the menu, going over to channel, and then it will say auto scan. Just put it on auto scan and it will find whatever stations it can in your area. And then you'll have to do that to every single TV separately.
But the bedroom TVs get antenna?
Bedroom TVs do get antenna, yep.
But not the DVD player, right?
No, not the DVD player.
That's just for the front TV?
Just for the front TV, yep. And the DVD player's here, power, stop, play, pause, and eject. And then you have to make sure you're on the AV input source to get the DVD player. All right. So up front wise, so up in the main dash here, you do have a couple 12-volt outlets for charging whatever you need those for. Climate control is here. You have your AC control on the left side, and then we have our vent controls and defrost on the right side. Off in the middle. Thermostat, if you want cold, all the way to the left. If you want warm, all the way to the right. Then we have our fan control. Low all the way up to high on that. On the steering wheel here, we have your cruise. So you got on, off on the left side. Then we have resume, set, excel, and then coast on the right side. Handle on this side is going to be your blinkers up and down, brights and dims by going forward and back, windshield wipers by rotating, and then windshield washer fluid by pushing in. Up on top is your hazards on top of the steering wheel, horn in the middle. Light controls are all the way over here on the left. There are daytime running lights, but there are no automatic lights, so you have to make sure to turn them on, shut them off at night, or when you're done. Dimmer switch right beside it, which dims the backlights up here and brings them up to brightness. Radio wise, okay, so on your radio wise, middle button here is going to bring us into the menu. So it just shows us what we have here. Pretty basic. There's just a couple options. You either have radio or we can control the rear view camera. So if I push the rear view camera on, it's going to bring up the camera. And anytime you put the coach into reverse, it automatically comes up no matter what. And then if you want to exit out of that, just touch the screen. It is a full touch screen. So now let's go back into menu. If I go to radio, down on the bottom is how we change stations here. So all you gotta do is touch that arrow if you want to change stations. There are presets to the left. Just hold that number if you want to set a preset. Over here you have your volume on top. Volume up, volume down. Mute button here. Mode button just shuts the display off if you don't want this display on. And then we do also have a USB port here that is pre-wired into that radio. So whatever you plug into here, and then if we go into menu, it's going to pop up on the USB up here. Alright. Okay, on your keys, a couple keys here. You have big key here is for your deadbolt on your main door. This is for the bottom lock on the main door and also for just the bottom lock of your main door. This one here will do your compartments outside, and then you have an ignition key there, the Ford key.
So the Ford key gets you into the cab, right? And
Yep, the Ford key will get you in the cab and then starts the ignition.
The other keys
also
get you into the side door.
Yep, the other keys will get you into the side door. Alright, so that's your orientation of your 31H Minnie Winnie. Have a safe trip. Happy camping.